I'm warning you, do not go cheap on an inspector. If you do, this is one of your biggest purchases you'll probably ever make in your life. I don't know why most people would try to get the cheapest person that they can find to do an inspection. This is a big mistake and it can kill your deal. Do your research, try to talk to other people that have bought homes, and your realtor should know plenty of people. My name is Chris. I am a broker, and I have done this over 150 times where I have seen several deals, even recently for myself, go south. And it's because of a bad inspector. And what makes a bad inspector? You know what? There are so many good inspectors. One guy that I've been working with for almost 8 years, he does the bulk of my inspections. And I'll tell you why. Because he does one inspection a day, he doesn't rush through it, and he explains everything to the buyer so that they understand. And a lot of times these guys, they'll rush through and do 2 or 3 inspections in a day. And an inspection really, depending on the size of the home, right? Whether it's a condo or a townhouse or a bigger home, it can range anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours to 2 days. It just depends on the size of your home and your property. But what makes a bad inspector? Well, when they rush through walkthroughs, when they're in a hurry and they really don't have a whole lot of time for you when the inspection's over, that they need to move on to their next inspection. And you're paying these guys $300, $400, $500, $600, sometimes $700 to do this. You want answers and you want to know about your property. One thing that I really don't hear a whole lot about, but if they don't have a license or insurance, all these guys in Texas especially, they're all regulated. And if they don't have a truck license, Texas Real Estate Commission license, then don't use them. You can't use them. You're not going to get what you need out of it. If these guys or gals are vague and they don't have any photos to show you as they're going through the inspection, bad inspector. You need somebody that can show you specifically what it is wrong and why it's wrong. And if it's not working, or if it is working, but it's working kind of funky, you need to know what you're getting yourself into. Even though you might use somebody that's recommended, even if I recommend somebody to you, you really should do your own due diligence and look them up on Yelp or Google or wherever, whatever website that you use to try to do your research and find out what kind of reviews they have. Just like anything else when you're buying something on Amazon. And one of the big things is if there's no follow-up at the end of the inspection or no explanation of what they did, they just sent you a sheet. Now, I'll tell you, in Texas, they have to follow a form, and we'll go into that in another video. But for right now, I just want you to be thinking about getting the right inspector and finding somebody that you can work with that will understand, hey, I'm a first-time buyer. I've done this several times before. I want to spend the whole time on the inspection so that I can understand and you show me things. Those are the people. Find out what your needs are, come up with what your needs are, and then find out, how these guys or gals operate. So what do they actually do? Well, they do a generalized, they get up on the roof, they get under your house, they check the wiring, they check the plumbing, they don't check refrigerators and washers and dryers because those aren't part of the contract. Different conversation for a different day. But they check to make sure all the basic things are working. And a good inspector is going to say, hey, I don't know 100% about all this, but you need to have this checked out by a plumber. You need to have this checked out by a roofer. Which brings me to, what does a bad inspection look like? I recently had a guy that was an inspector. I represented the seller, and the buyer brought in this inspector. It was a 2-story home, and he did not get on the roof. Well, in Texas, an inspector does not have to get on the roof, but he didn't have a drone. He took a couple of pictures from the sidewalk, looking straight up at a 2nd-story window, and recommended repairs. Who does that? how can you know if you need repairs done on a roof that you can't see? So that almost killed the deal on that deal. I had another inspector go to a new home project, and he tore the roof up and said, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is out of compliance. And the deal went south, and the client got upset, and it was a bad deal for everybody that day. So there's other things, we'll go through. If you're looking like in the Dallas area, or you're looking in Flower Mound, which is where I specialize, or Plano or Frisco, there's all sorts of different complex things that an inspection will kind of uncover, and you just need to be aware of. And find out from your inspector how many inspections they're doing a week. If they're doing, 15 or 20 a week, that's a lot, because there's a lot of paperwork involved. They need to upload pictures. They need to upload a report to you. And those reports are almost 25 pages long. But just don't go. I'm begging you, please just don't go with the cheapest option, or it's going to come back to haunt you. And a lazy inspector, I'm telling you, it will cost you big money down the road, and you are spending so much money for your home. Take your time, find out a good inspector, get recommendations from your realtor. And, if you have somebody that just had an inspection done and they're happy, call them. Until next time, thank you. Ciao.